Okay, now we're recording.
Now I see it says record.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Melinda. Thank you so much for helping me out. We we had a little glitch here, but we are on. Okay, so we're just gonna start. I'm just gonna start by saying that I'm a spokesmodel for the New York State Department of Health HIV Starts With Me campaign. And since we can't do outside events, I'm doing a Where Are They Now series interview, and I'm interviewing Melinda, and she used to be a HIV Stops With Me spokesmodel for about 4 years, and she was nice enough to help me out. So I'm going to ask her some questions, and I'm hoping that everybody, a lot of people can watch this and learn and just enjoy it. So just give me a little intro about yourself.
Hi, I'm Melinda, and I've been HIV positive since 1991. I was a former spokesmodel for 4 years back in 2015. And I've known Nancy. I've actually known Nancy since 2000. I have met her when I was pregnant for my youngest child, Salvatore.
Yeah, I remember that. So I remember you sitting in the place, and you used to say, I don't know why you said I don't drink water. Do you remember?
Right. Yeah. I know.
I don't know why I remember. That's the only thing I remember about ever talking to you. Okay, so how long ago were you a spokesmodel?
Last time I believe 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was for how many years? You did it?
It's been 2 years since I not been a spokesmodel, right. And I was a spokesmodel for 4 years.
Right. Okay, great. So where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully I see myself in 10 years with grandchildren and a vaccine for HIV.
Good, I agree. I don't know if I'm going to get grandchildren, but I agree definitely on the vaccine. But
well, since the campaign, I reunited with my 2 oldest children. So now Salvatore has a brother and a sister. I didn't see them for like 18, 19 years because of my use of, me being in drugs in my past. But since then, I reunited with them. It's actually going to be a year that I reunited with them, August 28th.
Okay,
so
good.
It's been good.
So when you were on the campaign, who was your target audience?
My target audience was my son's friends, the school, the teenagers, because they were easy target. My Salvatore was always, he wasn't embarrassed to say that I was HIV positive. He knew that I had joined the campaign, and he was very supportive. So my target was telling these kids, telling his friends that would come over, that all the things, prevention, all the things that can happen, and I was the perfect example of what can happen and what cannot, and if you take care of yourself and how to prevent for them to happen to what happened to me.
Right, so you kind of reached out to them when they came over to the house to see your son?
Yeah, they will always come. I always had a group of kids here.
Okay. Well, that was good that there was a lot of kids there that you were able to talk to, because I'm sure that, kids that age, they definitely need to hear this.
Absolutely.
So if you had an opportunity to create the next theme for next year's campaign, do you have anything in mind that comes to mind that you would call it?
Or anything is possible. Everything is possible, because look at us now. We're still here.
That's true.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, that's a very positive, no pun intended, message.
Right.
Yes. I think that it needs to be said in all communities, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to hear it.
That's right. I mean, everybody needs to hear that just because you're HIV positive doesn't mean you can't live. Right. It doesn't stop you from from living a normal life. Absolutely. Anything is possible. As long as you put your mind to it and you take care of yourself and you're healthy. There's so many things out there nowadays. I mean, before when I was diagnosed back in 91, I mean, people were afraid to touch you or even kiss you. Now you can have a healthy relationship with somebody that is not positive. We've come a long way.
Yes, we have. So when you were doing the campaign, did you hit any roadblocks, anything, negativity or anything?
Well, my roadblock was getting people to come into events and organizing events because out here in the suburbs, everybody's in the down low. Nobody wants to come out of the woodworks with their statuses. So that's where I hit a roadblock. And that's why I always focus on the people who were around me and the people who I could reach out, like the kids.
Right.
Because you tell one kid something and they know who I am, and they're like, look, Salvatore's mom is this, and look at her. Look at the things. I would speak to them very freely, So that was my roadblock, was getting people to going to events and organizing events, especially out here.
Right.
There's no, like I said, everybody's very hush hush here, and they're afraid of the stigma.
Right.
So
I agree.
it's not like the city. In the city, there's so many events, there's so many organizations in the city. Out here a little more suburb.
Right. So yeah, as another Long Islander, I definitely agree with everything you said. It's very, a lot of people are very private with their status.
Mm-hmm.
Has it being, when you were a spokesmodel, did it influence your life in any way? Good, bad, different?
It influenced me in a very good way because not only did I always had support of my family. However, where are you?
I got you.
It influenced me in a way where I now, even though everybody knew my status, I felt free, and just showing everyone how free I was and how not embarrassed. Not embarrassed. Not embarrassed of what I have. So that was my influence. I want to influence people to know that it's okay. And look at me. It's okay for people to know your status. That's how it influenced me and influenced my family. And there is support. Just because you're HIV positive doesn't mean you can't have the support.
Right.
People don't stop talking to you because of that.
So it sounds like it was a very good experience for you.
Absolutely.
So if you met a new spokesmodel and you wanted to give them any advice, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to go knocking on doors, to ask for help, to ask to where can they go to organize an event, how can they start doing an event, help me do this, knock on doors, because that's what I lack of. I was a little more shut down because I didn't know where to start. And because of I'm in the suburbs, it makes it a little harder for someone who's not afraid of knocking on doors. Knock on them doors, ask for help, and see how you could get started. Because one door could open to a lot of doors.
Right, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were active in the campaign, I know like they put posters and billboards all over the place. Did anybody ever come up to you and say that they recognized you?
Yes.
Campaign?
In the Bronx, they did, because my friend has a lot of my posters, and I put them up on SROs, like buildings that people live with HIV, and they put in these buildings that they have little SROs. And my girlfriend put a lot of them. As a matter of fact, this is the last campaign that I did. This is the poster, Hardcore Advocate.
Yeah.
And I still have these.
That's awesome.
And still give out tarot cards as well. And
Yeah.
this is first HIV.
That's my favorite
campaign. Yes.
I love those ones with the butterfly wings.
Yes, they were beautiful. I still, and again, when I go to the clinics, I see the pamphlet and I speak to people, because over here in these clinics, nobody wants to go to the window because of the stigma. Right. And I know your own people. So, you start conversating with them, and I always tell them about the campaign and how far we've been, and there's no shame in my game.
Right. So you said your son was supported before, and your friends and family, they were supportive of you when you were in the campaign?
They actually were very proud of me for being in the campaign.
Right.
Because even though they always supported me from the beginning, I never hid my status, but they were very proud that I was a part of this big thing, this big phenomenon, because this campaign is very big. Yeah. And it shows that we've come a long way. So they were very proud and very supportive of me.
Great. So your treatment, your HIV treatment, we talk a little bit about how's your treatment working out for you, and you're able to make your appointments all right and everything?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had gone to IDC right before the pandemic, and I go every 6 months, so I have to go next month, and so it kind of worked out. But when I first got into treatment, I was taking 22 pills. Then I went down to 6 pills. Now I'm down to one a day. And I'm undetectable. I've been undetectable since 2001. So it's been good. Yes.
That's very good. Very good. Very good. So it is important to maintain HIV treatment because we all want to stay undetectable and we want to stay healthy and we don't want to have to worry about transmitting it sexually. So if you had a chance to return as a spokesmodel again, would you?
Absolutely. Of course I would. I love this campaign. And I would do everything different. I would do the things that I did not do before because you learn from your experiences. I mean, I was a part of this big campaign. There's a big phenomenon. And I just didn't work myself around to doing what was expected of me. So I know now, you know, that the things that I could do differently. But I just want to say I'm so happy that I have you on board because, Nancy, you always, from the moment that I met you, you always been very involved with the community, with HIV, and always been out there. Your face, I mean, a lot of people know you, and a lot of people know the story. So I'm happy that you're on board with them.
Thank you. Well, I thank you so much for helping me out with this because
no problem.
You were really open and sure. I hope a lot of people watch this, and I hope that you do get a chance to come back in the future if you want. If that's what you want to do, that would be great. And I think that's about it. Thank you so much for helping us out, and we'll talk soon.
All right, take care. Stay safe. Listen, take your meds. Undetectable.
That's what I always do. Yes, you too. All right.
All right. Take care, sweetheart.
Bye.